Hi guys, welcome to the Life on Leverage episode 2. I got Andrew Lee here, also known as Azntracker, formerly on Pokerstars. Good friend of mine. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah.
Looking forward to this ever since you asked me I'm like, it's been a while since I've been on one of these. So yeah, looking forward to chatting with you.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, a lot of what my podcast and what I want to really kind of portray is just people that do go about things in a more unconventional way in terms of risk reward and hence, the whole idea of life on leverage, right? And so to give people some background on yourself, Andrew, you're a former professional poker player. You were the fastest person to reach Supernova Elite on Pokerstars. From what I read, it was 59 days. Am I correct?
Yeah. Before the end of February, I believe.
February
20. I think it was the last day almost, February 28th.
So to give people some background, so Supernova Elite is the top VIP program on Pokerstars, and effectively what it is if in a calendar year you basically pay close to about 190K US in rake, you would get approximately 55% or so of it back in rebates and so forth. So Andrew was literally the fastest person to ever do this. But maybe you could share more about yourself, Andrew, in terms of what I'd like to do in this podcast really is to kind of cover your early days in your poker career and your journey kind of through that. And then we could talk more in terms of other things you're doing now and perhaps personally in crypto. And then maybe, now we're both here in Hong Kong, obviously. We play some live cash games together and so forth, which are really fun. And we talk maybe even like fantasy football and so forth, which we do together as well. And yeah, but why don't you walk us through some of your early days? Like how does someone like yourself even become a professional poker player in the first place?
Well, I guess we came up around the same kind of generation, you and me, because when I was in high school was when I really first started hearing about online poker. And this was back in the early 2000s. And during my high school, like the last year, we call it, there's a senior year where we've all gotten into uni. So the second half of it is it's a very slack time. So a lot of us began to kind of like figure out, oh, wow, this is a really fun game. So my friends and I, we would gather in like Friday, Saturday nights. We would play like this $20 buy-in stuff. It's really, none of us had any idea what we were doing. I remember thinking Ace 10 suited was like the most legit, amazing hand ever. Actually, now that we play, more professionally, like it is still a very good hand, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was back then. So clearly we had no idea what we were doing. But then as college began, the summer before college, we would all be playing like almost every weekend. And then online became a thing. So we started doing all these deposit bonuses. And I figured that the game was still pretty easy back then. I felt like, all you had to do was be aggressive in the right spots, right? So Kenny and I, we came from the sit and go streets. So basically we would play these very, very fast games where they would last maybe less than an hour for sure. And all you had to do was win one table, beat 8 other players. Yeah. So we figured that pretty quickly that there was this strategy where you could just steal blinds very aggressively at the end. And basically that sort of fueled my college experience, like in poker related terms. We just kept grinding. I kept buying into the higher games. Back then it was like party poker, empire poker. Even at the highest games, the play was atrocious. Now, I wish I could go back to those times. What poker player doesn't say that? Because I'm sure I was still making huge fundamental mistakes back then.
Dude, I read something about you. Like it was just circulating online that even before you made a deposit, you're grinding the play money. There was like a secondary market, I think, on eBay, where the play money points were worth X amount of money, and even before you made a deposit, you had $1,000 worth of money from play money. Is that true?
Well, yeah. So basically, the high school when I was in high school, people didn't want to deposit real money onto stars, Pokerstars, that is.
Yeah.
So they would buy play money. So on the eBay, there was a secondary market for play money, and it was around $1 million of play money for about 30 USD. So actually, you could just go to the play money streets, just grind that. I can't remember all the details of it by now, but I think I made at least I think around 1,000. I never really checked, but basically like selling play money, and it was just easy. You just fold, get aces or kings or queens, and just go all in. And yeah, that was a thing because people had this aversion to real money deposits. So
sure.
Yeah.
I think that's like really awesome, right? Because it really kind of embodies more in terms of, poker players being more kind of like nerds, right? In terms of thinking of different ways to like to be able to make it and grind and be actually really responsible. And it's actually a really responsible way to get a start. Actually,
and deposit bonuses were a big thing as well because in poker, for example, they would give you 50 USD for just like 100 USD buy-in and deposit, and all you have to do was just play some X amount of hands. So it was just ways to game the system back then.
So and then let me tell the story about how me and you even like first met, right? Because I saw that article about you, again reaching the Supernova Elite, like the fastest person ever, and then I remember the exact way we met was we were both in the Bahamas for a big tournament. It's a PCA, Pokerstars Caribbean Venture. This is more than 10 plus years ago, and then I just happened to be looking at the C charts and I see, Andrew Lee. I'm like, wow, man, like I really want to meet this guy. Like I've always, so I remember I just kind of stalking you from behind, and I tapped your shoulder, and like, are you Azntracker? And then. And I'm just like a total fanboy, right? Like I'm like, are you Azntracker? And then more or less that's how we kind of even became in contact, became friends. I just thought it was like really.
Of course, I recognized when you told me. I mean, it's pretty freaking nerdy back then. What's your screen name? What's your handle? But when you told me you were YND, I'm like, oh, you're that. And I also really didn't know what YND is because I'm Asian, but like I'm not from California. I'm from the other coast, Virginia actually. So like I wasn't really into the whole Young and Dangerous and all that kind of cool stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. Oh, nice to meet you, Kenny. And then in the Bahamas, of all the places in the world.
Of all places, man. Yeah, all places. I mean, there's a lot.
Now we're in Hong Kong, which is
right? Which is I mean, we first. I think like really we caught up. It was like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago back in Hong Kong, and then at the time you were just visiting, right? And then
I lived in Sydney for 7 years.
And then so certainly you moved back to Hong Kong, and then now we spend a lot of time together on the live cash games.
That's right. Less so these days, it seems, as COVID now in Hong Kong is going crazy. Speaking to before. But now the rest of the world is actually kind of like living with the virus. Whereas in Hong Kong, it's a bit like they want zero. But
it's tough, right? Yeah, we're near lockdown right at this time, right? So it's I mean, from the time that you moved to Hong Kong, it's actually been very quite traumatic. I mean, you came right at the
protests.
Protests, protests exactly, and then COVID. Kind of circling back, let's I happened to again going back to your poker journey. In 2011, you had quite a breakthrough in live poker, right? I saw that you final tabled the EPT Madrid. It was a really, really big 10K euro buy-in. And I just happened to, I was watching the footage for the first time actually yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like huge implications where I was like, so you're at the final table, 8 people, and then some other notable names, but first place was like 2.2 million euros, and then down, and then I saw what happened. Basically, the button raised, and then you're in the small blind, and then you jam the threes, right, and then and the guy tanked. Yeah, the guy, which was a really standard move, and then the guy, called ace queen, and then certainly I saw what happened after like the
Yeah. It's a
nine
hand.
nine.
It's a hand I think about from time to time, and whether I have to make that shove pre-flop. But
Yeah.
yeah, back then, 2011. Yeah, so that was
Oh.
11 years ago. So basically, I guess the tournament, like 20 big blind strategy, like it's not something that I've really worked on that much. And I thought at the time, just go with it. He had race folded once already, and everyone was around
I
20 to 25 big blinds. So ICM wise, he's
yeah.
got to have like ace king and like tens plus to call off there probably.
I think you're being too hard on yourself because I think at least back then unequivocally it's a shove, right? So I ended up calling with the ace queen, and then it ran out 9-9-4-7, and then the 4. And I was like, and then I'm like, oh man, I was feeling so much pain, like I was no, honestly, I was like, oh my gosh, because I obviously like as a poker player myself, like I understand the ramifications. I was like,
Big flip. It was a big flip.
I almost want to cry, dude. Like, I was like,
my reaction, I just kind of like dipped my head because, because we play so many sit and goes, and we are like instantly aware because we play so many all ins, right? So every time I know exactly what outs they have, and when the turn was a 7, I'm like, oh god, that's 3 more outs. 4-7 ace queen, a 4-7 ace queen. Yeah, but it's one of those moments of like a poker player's career where you kind of like can remember very crystal clear, and that's one of those moments. I'm like, wow, there it is.
Yeah. Oh man, and I'm just like, I just remember that one sentence you said after Shirley. I was like, oh, that was big. Like, oh man. But.
It's okay.
No, but I really from that though, I really respect how you kind of looked at it, right? I think you can tell that your manage your emotions really incredibly well, and then you didn't pout, you just took it on the chin. I think I really admire that actually.
That's what kind of got us through our careers, right? Our poker careers.
Yeah,
if you can't manage emotions, wow, man. You could be the most talented player, but you just gotta grind through those moments.
Yeah, we're so used to it, right? We're so conditioned to getting hit over the head like
repeatedly,
repeated. Yeah, for sure.
Which is good. Sure. Makes us stronger.
For sure. So in terms of kind of the volume you're doing, I also looking, man, you were, incredible. For people that don't know you, you were playing 40, 50 tables at a time, which is absurd. And then I'm just looking at the numbers. You're playing some 300 plus sit and goes a day, which I was doing as well. But I was playing much kind of small, medium, high stakes, whereas you're playing just medium and high, right, stakes. And I think, wow, man.
A lot of them were 6 max too, I remember. Yeah. Most of the $300 and above ones were 6 maxes. And I'm quite sure I was definitely more minus EV with that many tables going. But with the rake back and everything, it still kind of like was worth it. In terms of the math.
Dude,
but definitely not optimal grinding conditions.
Dude, I'll tell you. I was just doing the math too. Like in a given day, I think you were close to 4,000 US in rake a day at the pace you're doing.
Yeah, it would have been like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's gross to think about.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So the 1 year I got Supernova Elite, I was just trying to do because I only did a single Supernova Elite. I was trying to pay $600 in rake and then obviously try to break even in plus, right? But which I did. But I can't imagine, man, the stuff that you're doing is that's a lot of tables, a lot of volume, and it's just really unheard of, man.
There was another guy named, I think his name was Kevin. I can't remember his last name, but his name was Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He was doing more volume than me. He was doing cash games, I think, and I think he made 3 million BPPs in some of those years as well.
Yeah.
So 3x what SNE is, which is incredible. That guy was a machine.
Yeah.
And also a good buddy of mine back then, George95. We still keep in touch.
Oh, okay.
He's also a machine. Like that guy,
dude.
I mean, he was older than me. He was in his mid-30s back then, and he was still able to like pound out these VPPs.
Dude. So I love playing with that guy, right? Okay, so I had one moment where I tried to degen it up, right? Like I remember I was in Brazil at the time. I was on a beach in Rio, and then I was I got the confidence to play $430 hyper turbos with George.
Those, yes.
Six max, $430 hyper, but the rate was huge, right? And then and I played. I was on just a little tiny laptop. And I was like 20 tabling these things with George and others, right? And I was so proud of myself. It was like a 3-4 hour period, whatever. I was up 10K. And I was like, man, I am like,
you're
and then so I was like, okay, man, I can do this because I know how good he is. He's amazing, right? He's better than me. But then I got like quickly humbled the next few days after I lost it all back. Right? I was like, oh, damn it. So I was like, oh man, that's a bad idea. And those were like it's just like playing bingo, right? Like
a little, yeah. Because in those ones, for people that are unfamiliar, I think you start with 10 big blinds.
Yeah.
But there's ante from every player as well, every hand. So the pot already has 3 big blinds in it before any action is. Or sorry, 2.5 big blinds. So.
Yeah,
the fold ranges were incredibly wide in those, especially for the initial part.
And I was jamming everything. I was just jam. 500 trips, just jam, and then it was not really like
it's poker. I don't.
Yeah, it's not really poker. It's just being really loose and then calling loose and like.
You get these weird spots where you have like 4 big blinds and do you shove with no fold equity with 3 big blinds, for example, or do you call off somebody's like 0.8 point shove? Like what? Like what do you do?
No, I think what I really liked about those games because it would come down to 3-handed, and then there would be two people get a reward, right? And then so there's part of, I think the bubble strategy, that part was really fun for at least for that game, but it's not. Yeah, that's definitely not poker. That's more like just.
How did you do 24 of those, man?
No, I was just like no. I was just kind of crazy. I just thought I needed more ways to pay rake, dude. And then I mean, I was just it's tough, right? I don't think I'll ever do anything like that, right? Because the amount of volume it took to reach is one of those. I played every day, like and
you could hop in the 5K heads ups. With $200 a rake per 5,000 plus 200 or something.
And then I was reading about you where like you said like you didn't even play every day, like you took like long breaks. I'm like what the hell, like.
I did.
How is that? No.
For that Supernova Elite run in January, February. That way.
Yeah. You know what?
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Cool. No, I think thanks for sharing that.
Those are go memories for me.
And that's how we got like very acquainted, right? We have spent a lot of time crossing paths in the online scene goes, and that's why I'm really happy about that we were able to become friends after, right? It's cool. It's a cool thing, like,
And it's interesting since I stopped playing online, like quote unquote professionally. I think like you as well, we've kind of migrated into cash games, so that kind of strategy is completely different, and I enjoy it so much more than the sit and go grind. And I seriously wish, I kind of regret, I mean, if there's any regret, is that I didn't get into that sooner online, playing cash 100 150 200 big blinds deep. That
same thinking. Yeah, same thinking, man, because I think we were in poker in a period where it was definitely not as advanced as it is today, right? So we definitely had a window of chance for that. We could have actually like cleaned up a lot. And you're right. It's many times more enjoyable playing live cash than sitting in front of a computer, right? So I feel like I've I don't know if you feel this way at all as well, but post playing full time, like really got a lot better these years.
Yeah.
Even though not playing as frequently or not even close, but just in terms of, because playing cash games, you're playing more post flop. You're playing, having to think about more situations. It's right.
Yeah. Wait, are sit and goes even a thing nowadays online? I haven't looked at all.
Yeah. Those.
Poker, they have that.
I imagine they're still there. I imagine they're
okay.
Yeah. How? Okay. I guess moving on. What are you doing? Because I know you're on a personal level, at least in crypto. Like, what kind of things are you doing in crypto?
So for me, so I'm not working in the space at all. Like, I'm always looking for maybe opportunities to get into it, but personally, I just have my investments, my holdings in there. Sure. Some yield farming here and there. Holding, basically just managing a long portfolio. I don't want to trade too much because you can get pretty wrecked in the crypto world. I don't really do any leverage.
Sure.
I just feel, the amount I have in this space is quite enough. I don't need to be taking punts or gambles, longing 10x, 15x, or shorting for that matter. I don't really do that. So basically just holding my stuff and
how
kind of like watching from afar,
paying
attention.
I guess certainly across our poker friends, a lot of them got in really early, right? Especially with like regulation, like online poker basically being banned in the US, and then just as a result of like friction in the banking system, poker players got familiar with Bitcoin early on 2011. But I guess how early did you get involved? I'm really curious.
Actually, I'm a little bit regretful of that as well. I think I kind of left poker it was around 2013, 12. I don't really, 13 or so, where people were just starting to, like you said, use crypto as a means of getting around the traditional banking system. Whereas I didn't really get involved back then that heavily, that deeply. So my earliest experience actually buying, even entering the space, was more like 2016 or so. So I missed that whole initial wave of BTC going crazy, and Ethereum as well. If I had kept playing poker, I feel like professionally, Ethereum would have been the next thing, right? I think a lot of poker people got into ETH around 2016, 17, around that time.
Yeah.
Whereas I had been out, so I just had my stocks. I didn't really go heavy into ETH, which would have been a completely game-changing story.
Dude, you're right. You're right. This is, ETH, a lot of poker players, just from that exposure, right? It was early, late 16, 17. Yeah, they're
late 16,
sitting on, 8-9 figures of crypto just because of that ETH run up, right? It's very common,
right?
Yeah, very common story for poker players. Though from kind of when Bitcoin, I remember in this around 2011, 12, I was actually, shortly, right near the Mt. Gox hack, I was actually looking, before it happened, I was actually looking at ways to buy Bitcoin then. So I probably would have, to be fair, I probably would have got on my coins taken,
Also, but you wouldn't have, I don't know, back then. So from my perspective in my whole poker career, one of the things that I've kind of been proud of is kind of bankroll management and allocation of funds. And I doubt I would have, I know I didn't, but it's really difficult to allocate a large proportion of your assets to something that is very, very nebulous and unknown. So even if I gotten into Bitcoin, I don't think I would have purchased a huge stack. And then even with the rising price, you have to have the ability to hold, right?
Yeah.
And something that's gone up insane amounts is very hard, especially if it becomes a very large proportion of your net assets. And same thing with ETH. It's just really hard to hold on to something when it's been going up so steeply. And so basically, it would have been very hard to just not sell anything. And
No.
yeah,
No, for sure. That's valid, right? I mean, say someone were to get in at, like you're right, like sub $1,000, and it ran up to
20.
10, 20, etc. Yeah, of course, they would have the urgency to sell, right?
Yeah.
So,
And if it represented a very last portion of your portfolio,
yeah.
This is serious money, and it's a bit irresponsible to just, well, in my perspective, to riding this wave, especially because I didn't have a job. Like, I never actually have had solid employment since college after I graduated.
Yeah.
I've been a poker player. I played for a while, and then I never really had a steady income per se. So just relying on stocks and crypto.
Crypto, and good responsible bankroll management. Yeah, you're the antithesis of life on leverage.
However, it would be actually a surprise that I've been a little bit more gambly in the last like 2-3 years, getting into like quote unquote shit coins, right?
Okay.
I haven't been swept up in the NFT craze quite yet because there's just so much crap out there right now, but a little bit like gambly on little certain like projects here and there. But yeah, it's definitely the main. You want to protect your wealth as much as you can while trying to still dabble in stuff. Yeah.
No, for sure. And you have some flex, right?
Oh, I do have flex.
It's
flex in a meaningful way. Not too huge, but still got.
Okay.
And waiting.
No.
Waiting for
appreciate
to do its thing.
Yeah, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
You guys are doing good things. They've moved into this like huge, fancy, super duper cool office in Hong Kong, and and he's behind a pile of chips there, and I'm still game. I'm still waiting to play there.
Yeah. We have a lot of exciting things happening. CoinFlex US, we're launching in the middle of March, so we're announcing that later tonight.
Okay.
So that'll be really positive. And that'll just be a way for people to get into Flex USD, like in and out from fiat dollars, and then also spot trading. So that's coming out tonight. So that's really, really quite exciting. And then we're trucking along. And I've been really blessed to go from being a full-time poker player myself to finding my niche in the crypto industry where I could leverage my strengths in terms of making relationships and just really kind of loving what I get to do. And so I've been really blessed from that.
Yeah, I feel speaking to that, I feel pretty honored that I'm the one going after Doug Polk, who you just talked with 2 weeks ago or last week. So clearly there's some relationships in this world. So yeah, it's awesome.
No, man, dude. You're I mean, you're incredibly humble about this, but I know you're so humble about this, but you are the man, dude. Like I mean, just from knowing inside out kind of what you've kind of been through and where you are now, no doubt about it, man. Like and I'm like really happy again that we've been able to circle back and be close friends. And I invited you to be in our fantasy football league a year ago.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah, I want to talk about that because that really pissed me off.
No.
I just wanted to share.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me share. So, I invite Andrew into our local Hong Kong, fantasy football league, NFL, right? And it's a decent buy-in, like a few K Hong Kong, and then, I've been in this league for 6-7 years. And I've always wanted to win, right? And then I pull off like 4 or 5 like gigantic trades. I rip everyone off. Especially the first few trades I made. And then I'm like, I have just a super team, and then me and Andrew are the fantasy playoffs.
Yes.
Head to head, and it's literally I'm up by like half a point.
X points. It's insane. In fact, it's insane.
Half a point, and then he has one player going, and so it's Washington and Philly, and Philly has a 10-point lead, right? And it's 2 minutes left, and they throw the ball to Dallas Goddard for like a 10-yard gain or whatever, and he beats me by half a point to do.
It was third and long.
I can't believe it. I'm still like even. I mean, this is like 2 months later. I'm still sad.
And the thing is, like, despite I'm from the States, right? I left America when I was like 11, 12 years ago. So I kind of stopped following football for a while, and this is the first time I restarted the NFL. And all the players were completely new to me this time around, and this is an auction league where you bid on players. I was so unfamiliar with the format. I was a complete. I managed the team fine during the season, and just
no. Let me interject.
Oh.
During the draft, you drafted two Kamara, and I think what's his face
Dalvin Cook.
And then towards the end of the draft, I was helping you, find some cheap wide receiver, and then of course, like I tell you to take Cooper Kupp. I was like, oh, the $20-something. Yeah.
24. But
man. Oh god.
He's the MVP of everyone's team, and he helped.
And
then the MVP of the Rams. Did he get MVP for the Super Bowl?
No. But yes, he did. And but the week that me and you played, I think I was like almost 80-90% favorite, and then he scored some 30, and then Cooper Kupp scored 30+ points, and I was like, oh my god,
it's a normal game for him. What do you expect?
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, Andrew. It's all good. But yeah. Anyways, I wanted to share that part. That was funny. Oh, still hurts.
We have competition in other ways now. Like you said, we play these very friendly but medium stakes poker games at our friend's office. So I still love playing poker whenever I can with friends.
It's so much fun, right? Because the game we have is mostly crypto people. Let's say a network of maybe like 10, 20 people, and then sometimes different games. There's smaller stakes games and higher stakes. Like it range from like 50, 100 Hong Kong 10K buy-in to or something smaller like 25, 50, 5K buy-in. So, but nice. Yeah, it really meant to be friendly. And it's nice that we get to spend that time together, and it's just.
Is Charlie gonna be back anytime? His colleague also plays it. I like that guy too.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think it's a really nice group, and I think it serves its purpose, right? In terms of us being able to spend that time and bond. It's not just about poker. It's just hanging out, right? So cool. Yeah, man. I always excited about that. It's really hopefully we're not locked down further.
Well, now that it seems like we're flipped from the rest of the world, where before there were a lot of lockdowns in like the States and New York City, San Francisco. Now everything's like open air, but here it's like flipped. And so, well, we can still hang out, going to people's houses. Like you can do home gatherings and although there's kind of technically restrictions on that too. So, it is interesting times we're living in here. Yeah. We do what we can, right?
Yeah, do what we can for sure. All right, Andrew. Well, really appreciate you, hopping on the Life on Leverage, episode 2. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe channel. And Andrew, I want to leave you with one thing. The next time I tell you that I have, the next time I tell you, I'll be like, okay, I'll say, Andrew, I have aces. I won't show it to you, but I have aces. Then you go, you're all in. You're all in.